Alrighty, well, good evening. My name is Cristina Williams, and it's such a pleasure to be with you this evening on this Asea team training. Last week, we kicked off with new associate orientation. We covered a lot of basics, but in subsequent weeks, we're going to dive deeper into a few topics. Now, some of the topics that are going to come up are how to drive your back office, how to understand the compensation plan. And tonight we'll be covering a DMO, so a daily method of operation. Because I know when I got started, I was so motivated and I was so ready to jump in and get going. But I had this pressing question. I was like, but what do I need to do? Okay, I get the concept. I understand a bit about redox. I'm not worried about hard work, but I need to know specific instructions what I need to do. Does anyone else feel like that? I just wanted to know what to do so I could go do it. So I'm going to cover 5 key activities that I feel that any associate who is growing should be trying to achieve every single day as a daily method of operation. Now, I'd like to put in here as a little disclaimer. There are a number of different teams participating on this call. So if your upline or your mentor is telling you anything at all different to what I say, please follow your mentor. Please follow your upline's instructions because they know exactly what they're doing in their team. I'm going to stay very general in my observations. But as we look across the team, as we look across different people that are having success, lots of different leaders, you do see some principles emerge. You do see some things that these leaders are doing to get results. So let's jump in and find out what those things are. So if you're brand new and you want to get going, or if you've been around a while, but you want to get better results, these are 5 key things that any person can be doing in order to move forward. All right, let's kick off right here. Alrighty, so now where is it? Sorry, my computer's just a bit delayed. There we are. Okay, daily method of operation, new associate training part 2. Okay, so every single business has a daily method of operation. If you're running a McDonald's, if you're running a bank, there are things that need to be done every day. And they are core activities that we know we need to get through and jump into. So there are some things that we know that will build your business. And that these can be structure, so activities that are part of your structure, but also targets that we can have to look through at every day. Now, what you do every day is going to depend on what you want to achieve. So, as I said, this is a general overview, but if you want to really be specific, you need to sit down with your upline and say, well, I'd like to achieve the platinum level because I need to be earning that amount and I need to be doing it by this date. And based on what you see here, then that might adjust your goals. What I'm telling you today, you might need to do double, or you might be able to do half, depending on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. So the first thing I'd like to say is we need to be very clear on what we're wanting to achieve. That is not just specific to Asea, that's specific to any business, right? So the average time to diamond, as you've heard me say before, is 21 months. So when we look at all the diamonds and people that have achieved diamond and above, and we look at the average time that it took them to get there is 21 months. The average income at diamond is around 15,000 US dollars. So in Australia, it's around 20. So just make it into your own currency. But you know, when I got started, I wanted the money tomorrow. I wanted the money that same week. But the reality is that this is a business, you know, and a business takes some foundation. And I had to decide what my level of commitment was. And when I was really real about it and really assessed all my options, I really didn't have any other options in 21 months to be making $15,000 to $20,000 a month. I was really happy to dedicate myself to whatever amount of time it was going to take me to set up those results. Because if you look at how long it takes to set up a traditional business, for example, most traditional businesses, you need to invest many thousands of dollars into them, and you probably don't expect to make a profit at all for the first year. If you're looking towards a career like earning this kind of money as a doctor or as a lawyer or as a professional, you're probably going to have to study around 3 to 4 years, then do an apprenticeship, etc. And not only are you not going to earn money whilst you're studying, it's going to cost you money whilst you're studying. So let's look at these numbers on what Asea can generate and what it can give us. And let's be fair to this business and know that there is going to be a period of time whilst we establish the foundations and then get to the yield of the business. So I've put here some kind of estimates, 3 to 6 months to bronze, 6 to 12 months to platinum, 20 to 24 months to diamond. Now, I know people right now, particularly in Malaysia, I can tell you, in many other places of the world, that are getting to platinum in a month, that are getting to platinum in 3 months, in 5 months. So this can happen a lot faster. When I say the average to diamond is 21 months, it means that many people have done it faster as well. So it really is up to you to choose your pace. After you've got some clarity around your goals, the next thing we need to be to kind of check. All right, so I'm going to go through the 5 things here. These are the 5 things that I think we need to do every single day. Firstly, I feel that we need to dedicate some part of our business day into mindset. Mindset, what does that actually mean? Anybody who's building a business or wanting to achieve anything should review their goals daily, should have some clarity. Now, these goals, we know now from basic principles, they ought to be clear, they ought to be emotional, and they need to be specific for where we are headed. What that means is, for example, something like saying, one day I'd like a nice car. That doesn't mean, it might be a lovely goal, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be a goal that's going to move you and motivate you. Okay, so we need to review our goals, but we need to firstly have clear goals that are emotional, that excite us, and that are specific. They need to be in the present and they need to have dates on them. Okay, the next thing we need to look at, I like reviewing my affirmations daily. So what's the difference between a goal and an affirmation? A goal is a destination. A goal is what you want to achieve specifically. An affirmation is a statement, like a power statement in the present tense that declares who we want to become, what we want to achieve, and exactly how we want to live our life. So I start my day with a small visualization where I review my goals, I get some confidence about them, I get excited, and my affirmations are about the person that I need to become in order to achieve those goals. So if you don't have some kind of affirmation or some kind of statement on your wall that inspires you, I really encourage you to do that as part of your daily programming as a business owner. Okay, spend at least 30 minutes in personal development. That's my recommendation. In order to grow, we're going to need to become more, because I was in a financial mess when I came to Asea. I had made poor decisions in business. I had made, bad choices. I had a lot of enthusiasm. I had a lot of goals, but I had obviously to develop more as a person and as a business owner. So please don't resist the personal development part. I know so many people come to a business and say, yeah, that's for other people, but not necessarily for me. But I really would encourage you to invest in your own personal development, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. All right, so that's activity number 1, mindset. Next is product. Of course, if we want to be successful in this business, we need to know our product. We need to use our product. I know this might seem like an obvious one, but it's still very easy to miss for a lot of people. When one of the main questions people ask me is, what has it done for you and your family? And I'm really happy when I can share stories that are real. They're about my mother and my son and my dad and what it's done for me after many years of taking this product. It excites me to talk about it and people can feel that conviction. So please know and use your product. What do I mean by know? We have so much awesome information about Asea Redox. It doesn't mean you need to become a scientist, but I do encourage you to at least know what this technology is about and understand a little bit about how to explain it. In the first training that we did, I gave you some key phrases, some really simple 5 points on how to introduce Asea to a person. So make sure you practice that and you use your product daily. Now, the other benefit, of course, is that we can take advantage of is auto ship. If you're brand new and you're not on auto ship, I would highly encourage you, when you can, to get on a monthly automatic shipment program. The company does an amazing job for us, and they reward us with loyalty points, which means that effectively your product is going to get cheaper the longer you use it, because for staying on auto ship, you're going to get points back that you can then redeem for free product. I don't know about you, but I like the word free. And, you know, even if you don't need it, it might be product that you give away to someone. But the other thing, if you know the compensation plan, one of the qualifying things, categories that we need to tick in order to be eligible to earn money and bonuses is we need to be active. We need to be active. Now, people say to me when they become associates, am I obliged to do anything? Do I have to buy an amount per month? And the actual answer to that is no, you really don't have to do anything. I have plenty of associates that sign up and for whatever reason, just buy product when they feel like it. But I'm talking to the builders here. A builder is somebody that's wanting to generate income. And in order to receive bonuses and be eligible for bonuses, you do need to have a minimum order of 100 points every month. This is great anyway, because I think ethically we should be using the product if we're distributing it, but also it means that your business is going to have this lifeblood of automatic volume, and that's what's going to give us the residual income. Okay, so I mentioned this already. Whilst you're using the product every day, it also allows you to explain it simply, but if you don't know much about the product and you're brand new, remember you do have your upline that can help you explain the product at the beginning. Okay, so that's point number 2, right? So we've got our mindset right, and we're using the product. What else do we need to do in order to tick our day as a productive day? Well, if you're in business, and it doesn't matter which business, every single day you need to connect. You know, if we're selling pizzas, you need to connect with pizza lovers. If you've got a shoe shop, you need to connect with shoe lovers. Here, we need to connect with people who may be candidates for Asea, either for their health or for their financial opportunity that's attached. So select an upline or a running partner to work with who can do 3-way calls and offer you guidance. Now, if for whatever reason you're isolated, you can always plug into the team. The greater team is always moving and happy to offer you support. But you may even want to select a team member, so somebody that lives in your town or somebody that you really relate to or somebody in your upline or even downline, and you might say, you know what, let's help each other, let's work together. Obviously, the ideal is for this person to be in your upline. Now, after you've got somebody that can give you a little bit of mentorship, the very first task, let's say, of the new associate is to develop their lists. What is a list? There are 3 lists that you can develop. This really is the currency in our business. You know, this really is what's going to keep your business flowing and growing. And I like to call them 3 living lists, because making a list is not something you do once. You know, the list should be constantly evolving and growing. Now, it can be, of course, growing from people you meet and people you connect to on LinkedIn or Facebook, or 100 different ways that you can do it. But it should be a living list too, because of things you remember. So many times I think of people that, you know, oh, wow, I remember I used to work with her, or I might see a post on Facebook and it might remind me of somebody else. So living lists are lists that are constantly growing, whether you have them on a piece of paper or whether you set up a spreadsheet. This is an important task. So every single day we're going to be visiting our lists. Now, the 3 lists that we'll be using in order to connect with people. Firstly, obviously, people with health challenges that we can help. You've heard me say it before, I just don't even consider this part of business building. I just consider this part of being a good human. You have a product in your hands that can help people, guys. We need to reach out to everybody that has a health challenge. So that's just obvious. And, you know, it's very easy to connect with those people because they're already looking for options and you've got a great one. So that's an easy list. Unfortunately, it's an easy list because there are so many people with health challenges. So I reach out to anybody. You know, I even reach out to people I don't know. This week, I connected with somebody. I saw a post on Facebook about a little girl who's very, very sick. And I reached out to the family. I wasn't even connected with them. I just said, my name's Cristina. I'm a specialist with a new product. that I believe could help your daughter. I would love to send you some information. I hope you don't mind me reaching out. I'm just wanting to help. And you know what's so exciting is they saw the information, they've got the product on their way, it's given them hope, and they've actually found out that they already know other people using the product. And for me, that's heartbreaking that other people around them using the product that are getting good results didn't share this with them. So never be shy on holding back from good deeds. You know, never withhold a good deed, because that's what we have in our hands. Okay, so list number 2 is people to talk to about the opportunity. Who goes on that list? Absolutely everybody who doesn't have an immediate health challenge. If someone's very sick, of course, we're not going to jump in and talk to them about a business. That's just a bit rude. But everybody else, we can talk to them about the business opportunity, because they, you know, people, financial health is a little bit less obvious sometimes. People would look at me before I joined Asea, and they may have thought that I was successful. You know, I had a company, I had people that I was working with that were working for me, I had big clients, but they didn't know that in the quiet of the night, I was worried. I wasn't paying the bills. I was struggling to pay my rent. I was worried about the education for my children. So there's probably people suffering around you that you may not know, that are suffering economically or that are looking for an opportunity. So make sure you put everybody you know on that list and allow them to decide rather than try and make the decision for them. Okay, now the third list is one I want to talk about for a second. There are some people that your upline can connect to immediately. So I know with the people you know, it might seem strange to invite your upline to just call them, for example, if it's your sister or your really good friend. But you might have some people, some highly ambitious, some quality, well-connected people that you can immediately give that name to your upline, and your upline can make a phone call straight away and say, hi, my name's Cristina. Loretta asked me to give you a call. I'm looking to connect with influential people in the community. They're in Malaysia or they're in Singapore, and she offered me your name. And, you know, do you mind if I share a little bit of information about what we're doing? So your upline is skilled in being able to make these phone calls, and sometimes it's better for them to connect with people at the beginning, because it saves you having to handle some of those complicated questions. So if you trust your upline and you're working with somebody that has some experience and success in the business, make sure that you also work on this third list. Who can they connect to immediately? Okay, sorry, I just have to stop I need to switch off the microphones there. Let me just see. Someone's microphone is open. Okay, I'm going to mute all. Okay, now we're back. Someone's having a party. All righty, here we go. So we went through these lists. Okay, so once you have your lists and you're ready to start connecting with people, we need to learn a script that we're comfortable with. So every single day, the activity that we're going to be doing is connecting with people from the list. Now, there are so many great scripts and there are so many different people. So I'm not going to go, so many different people with different scripts that they use. I'm not going to go into the detail of all the different ways you can reach out to people. There are workshops that we've done specifically on how to connect and contact. But what's important is that you develop a list that suits you, you know, something that you're comfortable to work with, and you will very soon know if it's an effective script, because if you're making a lot of contacts, you will start to refine that script. So at first, you might want to borrow your upline script, and then you may start to adapt it and make it your own. So every single day we're going to connect with people. What is the aim every single day? If we're choosing targets for our daily activity, this is one that I'm going to suggest, and you can do a lot more than this if you're wanting some big goals, but connect with sufficient people to at least generate one real prospect daily. Okay, now, I know that sometimes we've said in the past, you know, connect with 2 people a day or connect with 10 people a day. But you know what? I really want you to look at getting results. And sometimes you might connect with 2 people and you might be getting really good results out of that. But sometimes you might connect with 10 and not really achieve much. The aim here is to be results driven with your daily operations. So my encouragement is at least connect with 1 real prospect a day. If that takes you 10 phone calls or 10 messages, then so be it. Now, at the very beginning, you're still refining your skills. So don't get frustrated if it takes you a little bit of time to get up to this pace. But who is a real prospect? Let's have a look at that. A real prospect is somebody that's ready to have a three-way conversation with your upline. Somebody that I can get on the phone and say, you know what, I'd really like to connect you with Kevin. He's amazing. He's growing so fast. He's well respected. I'd love for him to share with you what we're doing and see how it could benefit you. Okay, that's a real prospect. A real prospect is somebody that wants to receive information. They say, yes, sure, send me some stuff. I'm going to review it tonight and we'll catch up tomorrow. A real prospect is somebody that wants to come to a workshop, that wants to come to a meeting. We've got some great meetings coming up in your region, or somebody who's even ready for a registration. You know, sometimes I've had conversations where straight away the person has been ready to make a decision, and let's help them. You know, there's no need to delay somebody if they're ready to make a decision in that moment. So my encouragement is to, as you start your day, every single day that you're in business, when you've done your mindset work, you've used your product, and now you're ready to start connecting with people, have a target for what you want to do. You know, it's so funny, like at the beginning when I started building Asea, felt like I was so busy constantly. But then some days at the end of the day, I actually realized I didn't accomplish all that much. So I've kind of learned to really be very clear at the beginning of my day what my aim is. Now, at times where I've been building the business really fast, I've wanted to connect with 10 real prospects daily or 5 real prospects daily. But I want to encourage you, if you're brand new, at least make sure you're having 1 real prospect conversation every single day. Okay. So questions, where do I find prospects? You know, people are everywhere. All you need to do is get creative. If Steve Jobs came into our business today, you know, how would he connect with people? You know, let's open our mind up and get creative. There's LinkedIn, there's networking apps like Shaper, there's people through your work, there's people from your previous work, there's people in your neighborhood, old colleagues, there's people that know people who know people. If you don't know anybody, ask people who they know. The thing is, we don't need to ask how if you're really sure about the why. If you really want to make something happen, I know that you can. That's why it is so important to have an aim with every single day. I know when I have an aim that I really have a target of the amount of contacts I need to make, you know what, I just find those prospects. We can get creative. What will I say? As I mentioned, get hold of a script that you feel really comfortable with and that you can make it your own. And at the beginning, sure, you might have to have it written out in front of you. And you know what? I'm going to tell you some of the conversations, you might make mistakes. It's okay. At the beginning, I would get on the phone sometimes or have conversations and I would just walk away and just say, oh no, I really messed that up. Like that was just a train wreck, you know, but I used to just tell myself, well, I guess I'll be a little bit better next time. So don't be worried about making mistakes. The only mistake is not to say anything. Now, there are a lot of objections that people can put up. And when you start working with your own teams, people are going to say to you things like, I'm too busy, or I'm too nervous, or I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, you know. And my encouragement is whatever the challenge, the perceived challenge may be, there is always a solution. How do I know that? Because there are so many people having success with Asea, and I know that many of them have been busy, have been nervous, have been broke. There's been people who have built this who are doctors, people who are students, people who are single parents, people who are sick, people who are athletes. It really doesn't matter whatever your obstacles are. If you want to overcome them, you can. So if you're busy, there's always ways to find time if it's important enough. If you're nervous and concerned, you can grow. That's why you lean on the personal development. If you don't feel that you can find prospects, other people are finding prospects. So learn, reach out, be solution orientated is my advice to you. Every single day, if you're very clear about what you want to achieve, and that's why we're doing this, if you're very clear on what you want to achieve, these obstacles will evaporate because you will know exactly what you're aiming at every single day. If you don't know what you're aiming at, you will be focused on your obstacles. Okay, moving right along, pick up the pace here, Cristina. All right, what is the goal? Goal is duplication. What do we want to find? More of you. Okay, so my question is, Do you want to find more of you now? No, everything that you're doing right now in the business, would you like to find more people doing that? You know, there's been times where I've been a bit distracted and where I haven't done very much with my Asea business at the beginning. And it would have been terrible if I was duplicating myself, because I would have had a very slow going organization. So we attract who we are. So if you want to find great people, fast moving people, excited people, that's who we need to be. In order to achieve duplication, we need to have results-driven targets. That's why it's important that every single day we know what we're needing to do. Okay, I need to connect with 2 people. I need to make sure I use my product. I need to make sure I get through my affirmations and my goal setting. So we need to be orientated towards outcomes, okay? Every single day. Consistency is key. Again, that's why we're doing this little presentation, to give us a guide of what we should be doing every day. In this week's newsletter, if you don't get my newsletter, feel free to reach out. I'll send you a copy and you can subscribe. My husband, Matt, wrote a wonderful article on the benefits of consistency. You know, success is not a one single event. Success is not something that kind of arrives and just boom, happens one day. Success is the sum of good little decisions, the sum of making good decisions all the time. So it's not great if you have one amazing day and you hit all your targets one amazing day, congratulations. But what really matters is if you're going to come back and do it tomorrow, and you're going to come back and do it the 3rd day. And even if you miss those days, that day's target, are you going to come back and have another shot at it on Thursday? Consistency is so important to success. And simplicity. Okay, I was so guilty of complicating things. I have to tell you, at the beginning, I fell in love with the science. That's my background in health science. And so I just became a student of redox. I was reading everything. So when I was talking to people, I was doing what I now call redox vomit. I would just go, blah, molecules, molecules, molecules. And I was overwhelming people. And the real message they were getting is, wow, this is really complicated. I could never do it. You know, I was really making my own path so much slower. I was giving too much information at the beginning, and then I was complicating it, and people were thinking that it was just this massive scientific monster. They had to be scientists to do this business. And the reality is you don't. You have somebody like Malcolm, who's got one of the fastest organizations in the world, and he has a very simplistic understanding of redox. But what he's very good at is connecting with people and connecting people to the information. If you meet a scientist tomorrow, you don't have to be the fountain of information. You can connect him or her to the information. So keep it simple. Again, I encourage you to find a simple way to explain Asea. It only needs to be enough to open up curiosity, because the goal is to go to a workshop, to have a 3-way call, to get more information, do a meeting. The goal isn't to educate them to be experts. The goal is to help them want more information. Okay, so keeping it simple is so important. Some of us find it harder than others. If you love detail, you're going to be at risk of complicating it. Remember, I'm saying this because this was me. I love the detail, but not everybody else was like me. So keep it simple. Okay. Here's a question I had, you know, can I succeed? I just wanted to know what to do, as I said, and but I was still always wondering, can I succeed? You know already that the answer is yes. Now, I want to show you that even doing what I've suggested, having one quality conversation per day, can lead you to diamond. It can. The average sponsoring rate for a diamond and above, what do you think? How many people does a diamond on average sponsor per month? I used to think it must be thousands. Well, statistically, the number is 3.4 people per month. They've taken all the people that are diamond and above, and they've looked at their trajectory, they've looked at their statistics, and they said, okay, these guys sponsored 3.4 people per month. That's totally achievable. Obviously, from there, you're going to get some sensational duplication. Now, my challenge to you is, you know, what is it going to take for you to sponsor one person? Now, for me, I know at my rate that if I have 5 quality conversations, I'm probably going to sponsor 1 or 2 of those people. So if I'm attracting 5 prospects per week, let's say I'm having 1 quality meeting every single day of the week. I'm very likely to sponsor one person that week, which means that I'm on track with my goal of 3.4 people per month. As I said, if you want to go faster, you just need to have more conversations. You'll work out what your conversion rate is, and then you know exactly what your daily target is. Malcolm is amazing with statistics, and he taught me to do this. You know, I've set goals at different times, and he always works it back to the numbers. Of course, it's a people business. I'm not saying people are numbers, but you can actually track with predictability your business. At the beginning, you may have to talk to more people to get an associate on board. But eventually you'll work out some skills, you'll work out your pace, and you'll also work out that maybe after 10 conversations, you're able to bring on one associate. Or maybe you're absolutely amazing and really well connected and you have 3 conversations and you sponsor one person. Whatever your number is, it really doesn't matter, but it's important for you to know it. Let me shut the microphone off again. It's important for you to know it because that will allow you to know exactly what you need to do in order to achieve results. Looks like, okay. So for example, if it's 1 out of 5, then you know exactly how many conversations you need to have in order to go diamond. Okay, so it really is as simple as that. I encourage you to look at where you want to achieve, talk to your upline and say what level you'd like to be at. They'll be able to tell you the rough number of people you need to bring on board as personals, and from there you can work out how many people you should be talking to every day. Okay, so we've gone through mindset, that's a daily activity. Using your product is a daily activity. Connecting with people is a really important daily activity. What's another thing that I'd like to throw into the weekly activity schedule? Attend a workshop. Why is it important to attend a workshop? I don't need to tell you guys because you're on this workshop, but it is really part of your professional development. I get motivated when I attend my uplines workshops. I learn a little bit more. And if you're a professional in this industry, it's important to continue growing. So make sure that you plug into your weekly workshop in your region. And if the time doesn't work out, make sure you're listening to those recordings. The more your team grows, the more they are going to come to you and look to you as a resource. So it's really important that you then lead your team to the workshop so that you're not stuck having to teach everybody everything. We put these on as a resource for you guys. Okay, so if you attend the weekly team training, or if you attend the weekly events, or when somebody like Malcolm and Dr. Silverman comes to town, if you come to the events, your team is also going to follow you. So make sure, obviously this doesn't happen every day, but at least once a week, I recommend a professional business builder attends a workshop. Oh, sorry, I exited that there. Okay, and the last thing that I believe should be part of our weekly goals, task sheet, our weekly activity is mentorship. It's very important to work with a coach. You know, we talk about consistency being important, but it's consistency to good habits. We can be consistently bad at something. It's really important to be consistently improving. So it's great to be doing that repetition, great to be consistently making phone calls, but you really need to also be checking in with a coach to be checking your results. If you had to talk to 50 people to, bring on an associate, maybe your script needs some refining. Maybe we need to change something in what you're doing. You won't know what that might be unless you're working with a mentor. A couple of points on working with mentors. Don't wait for your mentor to chase you. You know, if you're the business builder, you need to seek them out and seek out that support. This is a chance to refine and make adjustments. So, you know, have that transparent relationship, and above everything, be teachable and open to guidance. A mentorship session is not really an opportunity for you to say everything that you think. It's actually more of an opportunity to listen, to really listen to your mentor. How can I improve? What can I refine? And mentorship in this business is going to happen on the road. It's not going to happen, 3 years in the university and then later on you'll be working. Mentorship is your upline working beside you. So if you're brand new, don't be concerned that you don't know everything immediately. You know, your growth is going to happen and your learning is going to happen as you go. Ask questions, engage with your upline. Okay, so in summary, when you wake up every day in your Asea business, if you want to be growing, we really need to be working on what our goals are every single day. We need to have clarity on what our achievements are going to be long-term and who the person is we want to become. We want to be loyal to the product, understand the technology and the breakthrough that we have in our hands. We absolutely need to be connecting with people. That is the engine of your business. You know, if you leave out number 3, you're going to be a great member of Asea, but not necessarily a business builder. Number 4, workshop. Connect with the information. Be hungry to grow. And number 5, mentorship. Connect with your upline. And soon enough, you are going to be mentoring other people. As you bring on associates, you can give them this as a roadmap. You can sit down with your new people and say, all right, let's work on some very simple things that you need to start doing in order to start growing. So this isn't just for us to learn, but more importantly, this is for us to share so we can get that duplication. All right, so I'm going to check now if anybody has any questions. Let's see. Okay, thank you so much for listening, by the way. Let's see, what are the questions in there? Okay, there's a private question. The newsletter, Javier, yes, I will make sure I send that to you. Okay, somebody else. Oh no, Sed's already has responded to that one. So that's my newsletter right there. It has events around the world and also some resources. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to just open up your mic and make, you know, if you feel I've missed anything that you really want to be doing every single day, or if you feel that you need anything clarified, please, you know, this is a casual conversation. I'd really love to hear from anybody else that's out there with questions or additions. Yes, Kevin, I will definitely have a copy of this recording and I'll send it to you directly. I'll make a note right here. And any of my recordings, any of the trainings, if you're ever looking for them, I have a YouTube channel which is called Redox Revolution. And thanks for the great feedback, Kevin. And you can look at any of the trainings on there. I have trainings from Malcolm as well, from Danny, from Julie. So Redox Revolution is a good resource as well. I try to put up some of the trainings we do there. Okay, nobody wants to add anything. Kevin, do you think I've covered things if you're able to speak?
No, I think it's very good. I mean, you provide a very good summary. It's those things that we need to do on a daily basis. And you're right, it's sort of a mindset. It goes down with consistency, you know, connecting, mentorship, events. And I like what you said about complication. And I had the same mistake as well. When I first started, you know, I wanted to share everything on Redox. And I realized that the bandwidth of most people, they are not there. So there's no point to, you know, load them with so much. Keep it simple and enough for them to digest it and ask them to make a decision and close it. That's what Mel taught me too. So I learned a lot from there too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kevin, can I ask you a question? Is that all right? Since no one's going to ask me, I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
Obviously, you're a very successful business builder. What do you do every day to grow your business?
You know, it's a good question because you know, I do have a full-time job. You know that, and I was thinking about through, you know, all those things for those people who have a full-time job. How do they manage it? Because I started it part-time, and so what I did was that when I first started, I spent about almost like 10 to 15 hours a week outside of my day job, just to talk to people, you know, meeting them at night, attending events on Saturday and Sunday. And I managed expectations as well. I told my wife that I'm going to spend the next 9 months talking to people. So please bear with me when I'm outside. So that's very important, right? I mean, family expectations. So that's what I did. Now, when I first started, I got the very plain, simple PowerPoint from Wayne Bigstone, and Wayne got from Mel. And Mel got from somebody from the US, you know, Tammy and you know, and it was not ideal. But having said that, that was enough for us to get started. Everything was step by step, baby step. I realized that as we progress on, whatever you share today will kickstart them on a much faster path than what I went through. When I first started, it was slow. I didn't have a lot of tools with me. It was just, you know, like daily grinding, you know, meeting people. But I was very blessed to find people like Agner, BK, and they started to build like crazy, right? I mean, I have other builders as well, 4 to 6 builders, but they are what I call active consumer. So in other words, right, they will share about 5 to 10 people.
Sure.
Whereas BK and Acne will share to about 50 to 100 people. So that's the difference. So as I progress on, I learn along the way. The positive mindset is very important, and I leverage a lot on people that I need help with. Like for example, right, all the events when Mel, Julie, as well as Dr. Wayne came, I always encourage the members to go because I'm not there all the time for them, so I encourage them to go. There's something that I always want to do as well. The True A call. We don't do a lot of True A call, but having said that, in Singapore, it's very small. I encourage them to invite me to have the presentation so that I can be there to present it. So when I present it, I close. Most of my closure is about 95% or so. So I do encourage that.
Wow, Kevin.
I encourage on the upline leveraging because I think that's very important. There's something that I want to share to the team as well since we're all here. There are only 3 things when you present. The first thing is that in your presentation, tell them about the science. It is a legitimate science. And how do you do it? There's a few slides that I shared, called the 30-minute slides, which all of them have it. Just indicate that PubMed has it. It is Redox, ROS, and RS is there in the PubMed. So it's a legitimate science. That's number 1. Number 2, how do you prove that the product has Redox molecule? Talk about bioagiletics. You know what I mean? Tell them that, frankly speaking, if it's not true, all of us can bring a class action against Asea, against bioagility and sue them, right? So that's how we counter all the negative comments in the market. That's on the internet as well. That's number 2. Number 3, always bring the product, the Asea liquid and the Renew 28 for them to share and try on the spot. And I always tell them this, right? How do you know whether you're redox deficient? Very simply, you look at the biofeedback is the taste, right? If you have enough redox molecule in your system, the chlorine taste is mild, is minimum, frankly. I have done it many, many times in a family, where we young kids, middle age, parents like 40, 50, and grandparents. I can tell the tastes are all different, you know what I mean? So I've done it so many times. I've done it with people who have chronic and terminal illness. The taste is like bleach to them. I've done it with kids, with people who are very health conscious. The taste is so mild, hardly noticeable. So that's how I tell them. And I'll tell them honestly, look, you are redox deficient, you should go on it. And then I'll open up, the back office, show them the product, the entrepreneur pack, the business pack, and the personal pack, and ask them to choose, and I'll close it on the spot. And all this should be done in less than an hour. So basically, to your point, don't complicate things. As much as I know that we like to be knowledgeable, but at the end of the day, there's enough science to validate that what we say is true. So keep it to the 4 points I mentioned. I think we're all good.
Kevin, that is gold. I know everybody is just so glad that you shared that. Do you mind if I ask you one more question? That was really awesome to hear.
Yeah.
May I ask you one more question?
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
So, as many of you would know, Malcolm Sword and Dr. Silverman from the Asea Medical Board are coming to do some events in Singapore and in Kuala Lumpur in like a week's time.
Yeah.
You said the words leverage the events, and I agree. These are really awesome opportunities to have your business grow significantly. May I ask you, how would you invite people to come to an event like that? What would you say?
Well, first and foremost, I would definitely talk about you talk about Dr. Silverman, right, and Malcolm, right? So these are 2 awesome people. One is from a medical perspective, and one's from a business perspective. So it's a combo. So I definitely will leverage on it. I'll tell them that please do come because you're gonna hear from a doctor, right? And this doctor has been in this business of sharing this redox technology, for the last 9 to 10 years, and he's here in Singapore. And together we have a very knowledgeable, experienced entrepreneur who is sharing this business to many people and been very successful with it. And he's not a doctor, neither is he medical trained. So come and listen to see how does he leverage on it. So that's very important. So I definitely encourage people to go. In fact, we do a lot of communication and promotion of this event, both in Singapore and Malaysia. And I think it's going to be a huge event for sure. So definitely, I mean, it's very simple. Just tell them that, look, from a medical perspective, as a doctor, from a business perspective, as somebody has been doing it for many, many years, come and listen. We are right at the start of something great happening in Singapore and Malaysia, and there's a lot of opportunity. So yeah.
That's awesome. You know, and I'm seriously so jealous that you've got this combo, as Kevin said, you've got this amazing combo. I've never seen the two of them together, but even on their own, people come to see them and pack out the room. You've got Malcolm Sword, who's an incredible business teacher. He's got huge success, 7-figure earner. And then you've got Dr. Silverman, who has a deep understanding of the science. He's incredibly successful. So your prospects could not see this in a better way. This is going to be a great presentation. And I say to people, you know, we are bringing a new breakthrough health technology to market here in Singapore, here in Malaysia. We have the opportunity to participate. When was the last time that you had the chance to be part of bringing a breakthrough to market? It's the entrepreneur's dream. You know, at least come and listen to what they have to share. And at the end of that presentation, you can make a decision.